Commandant Joseph Tito, who is in studio with us. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you. Now, it's alarming. We've just seen what happens on our roads, Valley Road there. Clearly, people doing the most dangerous things. What do we need to do as a start to change the situation on our roads?
Thank you, Julie. What we really need to do is to come out very strongly and educate the public. What I've realized of late is we really have so many Kenyans who are very ignorant on issues touching on how they are supposed to be on the highway or on whatever road. This is the biggest problem in our country.
Okay.
Ignorance.
Ignorance. Now, this brings me to a very interesting issue. And if you're watching at home and you have a driver's license, I really wonder, did you ever sit a test? And if you did sit a test, did you end up having to pay a bribe? Does it come back to the fact that we've had quite a bit of rot in the system for decades now? And so do we all need to go back and do a refresher course, everybody who has a driver's license? Would that be a way to start to change the ignorance?
Oh, yes. If we can all come out and be honest that whatever I have as my driving license, I obtained it in a very, very funny manner, and I cannot be competent on the road. It is time you came, apply for a test, and have the test redone.
Right.
It is quite very possible.
Okay.
Yes.
So the next step, just looking at traffic police, and some of the views we were getting is we see traffic police in various different places. Why are they not positioned at certain hotspots like the Sagana Road, which has claimed so many lives? Why do we not see them at certain hotspots, really positioned there and ensuring that people are driving slowly and being careful?
There's one scenario that is cropping up, that whenever our own motorists see police officers, they don't see them as agents of safety. They see them as agents of people who are not out to assist them. That is one very critical area. We all know of what has been happening in Salga. As I'm seated right here, I'm planning to have a 24-hour operation in Salga area. Why? That is a critical, very bad spot in our country. And therefore, looking at the 35 black spots we have seen,
right.
These are places our own Kenyans know that they are black spots. And if you are very keen in seeing where these black spots are, they are next to centers or trading or markets,
right.
for that matter. And these are areas that we have quite a number of Kenyans doing their businesses. And motorists who pass there don't seem to understand that he is passing a dense populated
area, right.
He just drives because he wants to get to his place of work or to his rural home at a very high speed. You find him knocking 1 or 2 Kenyans or crossing the road. This again goes back to our basics in driving. How do I need to drive in a dense populated area? You are supposed to go at a very, very, very limited speed to avoid knocking he or she who may not be knowing on how to cross the road.
Right.
Yes.
So this needs a concerted effort. If you're driving in a high human traffic area, please be careful. We saw Mombasa Road there.
Yes.
How can you also help with the signs and ensuring that pedestrians have places where they can safely cross the roads, where vehicles can be stopped by by actual the signals that
Julie,
are normally put
that's
up?
a very good question and very valid. Look at our city, Nairobi. We have so many zebra crossings. How often do we see drivers stopping at those zebra crossings when pedestrians are crossing the road? You will always find them driving as if they have more rights than those who are walking on foot, which is, to me, is a very, very bad perception. Kenyans should understand that the law that this is a zebra crossing must be obeyed at all times. You should not just obey that law just because maybe you are seeing a policeman next to you. No.
Let's talk about the penalties, because it boils down to this. As Kenyans, it seems we are begging to be controlled like children, and we will not obey the rules, and therefore, the traffic police must step in. Tell us about the penalties, and how can we start to come down really hard so that people take these rules very seriously?
Yes, when we look at our General Traffic Act, the issue of speeding has a very low fine. The fines are between 200 shillings and 2,000 shillings. I would want you to imagine who in Kenya cannot pay 200 shillings. In
Certainly
most
if
cases,
you're driving a car, yes, you.
in most cases, what the police is now doing, especially to the public service vehicles, once your car has been identified to be speeding against the laid down speed limit of 80 kilometers an hour, we always subject this vehicle to a motor vehicle inspection that will now render this vehicle unroadworthy for it to get a higher penalty. Otherwise, if you're going to charge the driver of such a motor vehicle of speeding, you will just be fined 2,000 shillings or 200.
So you have to actually bend the rules to have an impact, which means we need to address the law.
Yes.
We really need to change the
Yes.
law. Okay, this is about lobbying now.
Yes.
For change in laws, change in policies, so that we can start saving lives on our roads. I want to thank you so much for being here, Joseph, and we want to invite you back in 3 weeks' time when this series is over. We want you to sit here and continue to share views on how you can help us bring some sanity back to our roads. Asante sana.
Madam, I will always be available.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Also, of course, your views will be forwarded to Joseph's office, Joseph Ole Tito, the traffic commandant. So do share your views. How can we stop road accidents? How can we stop the accidents on our roads in Kenya? 2442 is the SMS number. Share your views. What's happening in your area? What have you seen? What needs to be done? Tell us what you think. It is so important.